Hello there, it's Mike, and unfortunately Katie's not back, but we do have Jesse again for this week for part 2 of Inside Jesse on this week of Cup of Rad. Okay, so last week wasn't enough time, and I'm still camping, so this is a pre-recorded episode, not in front of a live audience. It's in front of action figures and dolls and graphic novels, and it is here again with Jesse because last week we were cut short due to time constraints. It was getting very long, and we thought we'd give your ear holes a listen because, you know, there's so much more that this man has to say. That's right, he's back for another week, Mr. Hollywood himself, the big man, the big show, Jesse Justimus Prime. How you doing, Jesse?
Hello there.
See, you're stealing my job. The thunder's gone.
I am delighted to be back. Thank you again for having me.
It's been so long, hasn't it?
It's been a minute, dude. Like I missed you.
It's not even like I don't even think you left. You've been here.
Doesn't feel like it, right?
Not at all.
So I was wondering though if maybe we could give them a little indication of why you keep referring to me as Mr. Hollywood.
Well, that's the thing. That was the hook. That was to get
that's
them,
just the hook.
That was the hook to
so
get
if
them.
we tell them.
Well, no. Because see, like part 1, they're going to be waiting for that, right?
Oh, they were totally.
This is all part of marketing, right? Because this is what I learned about marketing. I'm going to give you all the secrets. Marketing is just a tool to get you to consume more, and that's what we want. We want you to consume more, and I want you to consume more episodes. I wanted you to come back hoping that you would then, you know, love what you hear so much that you're like, no, I need to stay for the ride. I need to go back and download 140 episodes of these guys talking.
This is amazing. I'm learning so much.
I like to be transparent. You know,
this.
I show it all. I bear everything to you right now.
You sure do.
It's open and ready for business. So, you know, okay.
That's right. Those Speedos are back.
Right. So last week we talked a lot about your love for Marvel, and we didn't even get into the MCU. This could become a 3-parter. You might have to come back. Actually, I know you got limited time, but your love of X-Men, we got to hear of your great story of the characters you would choose and where you would go with that story. And I was really fascinated with it because I think it's really interesting to hear what people think about when they talk about their fandoms and what they want to see. Yeah. I think that's really cool to find out. But so why do I call you Mr. Hollywood? You know, do you want my side of the story or do you want your side of the story? What's the truth? Where's the truth?
Oh, I think the truth is likely somewhere in between, but I'd love to hear your interpretation of this. I'm dying to know. Let's go.
Okay. So I know Jesse through school and through work. And he abandoned us all because he thought he was better than us all. He was like, nuts to all you fools in this field. I got a better gig. I'm with cooler people now. And he ran off to Hollywood North, thumbing his fingers at the sky to us all, saying, tits off, mofos. And he became Mr. Hollywood. He became the Ric Flair of the EA profession as he flaunts around in his feather boa and his sunglasses and saying, who's your daddy? I'm Mr. Hollywood. I worked on a Disney film. That's my side of the story.
Well, that's interesting. And for the record, I would just like to point out that sunglasses and a feather boa are the perfect accompaniment to any Speedo. So I don't really see why I'm getting flack for that. Yes, no,
it was the fishnets, okay?
It's always the fishnets with you. God,
they make legs look good.
They do. They really do. But yes, Mike is correct. I did work with him in the education field, and I was given an opportunity to work on the set of the upcoming live action Peter Pan and Wendy film for Disney. So I have been doing that since March. I am just at the tail end, wrapping up now. It's been an absolutely incredible experience. I highly recommend for anyone who wants to anyone who wants to have fun at work, quit your job and go work for a movie. It's amazing. But yeah, I was essentially doing what I was doing in the schools, working as an EA, so supporting all the students out there, really, in whatever way needed, working with some really, really fantastic studio teachers. And yeah, I had a blast. It was absolutely the coolest job I've ever had. And I'm now forever known as Mr. Hollywood. So.
Yep. It's going to be Jesse, Mr. Hollywood Gadsby.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be like, I expect sunglasses and a feather boa next time you walk into work.
Where does one acquire a feather boa even?
Oh, there's probably lots of places. You're just not looking.
I'm just not looking. Is there like a feather boa? There's literally a feather boa emporium down the street, isn't there? Probably. Yeah.
Right beside the thigh highs and heels.
The thigh and heel store. Oh, I'm familiar with that place.
Right.
I'm a regular.
But anyways, but yeah. So you got the pleasure of actually getting to experience a big scale production.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome. I know you're pretty close to the tooth on your NDA. You know, they wrangled you back. So hopefully when all said and done and it comes out, we can have you back to give us any little...
Oh, I will give you all the behind the scenes dirt. I will even come back and record like a commentary that you can play while you watch the movie, and you will all have an immensely enhanced experience knowing exactly where I was standing during each shot.
I think that's fair. I think that is really fair, and it's worthwhile. You know, I've always wanted to do a commentary episode, and you know that maybe Katie will let this one happen. So. Is there anything you can give us? Anything that's not part of that you can just kind of like tease? Just to give those listeners to be like, well, can you say anyone that you've met? Are you allowed to say that?
I think so. Yeah, because it's all like the entire cast is posted on IMDb. It's all pretty public. I had the pleasure of meeting Jude Law, who plays Captain Hook, as well as Alan Tudyk and Molly Parker, who are Mr. and Mrs. Darling. And really all the kids and all the actors were just fantastic. There was a few Vancouver actors that I'm sure anyone who watches anything filmed in Vancouver would recognize. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
So you met the Law.
I met the Law. Yes.
Dumbledore,
Marvel. Yes. The man himself, looking very different, of course, than, the short-haired, clean-shaven version that we see in most of his movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go into too much detail about the costume or makeup effects, but he's a very different looking man.
Fair
in
enough.
Full costume, I will tell you that.
And that's what's kind of exciting to see, right? Like, so that's why I'd be excited if anyone does want to hear more takes on that movie when it comes out next year. I'd love to have Jesse back to talk more about that movie and the stuff that he got to see. So maybe he can spit out some cool rhymes on it. I know I don't want to like break anything for you, because I know it's all secretive and I don't want you to get shanked.
No,
in your sleep.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I can tell you a little bit about, our day-to-day process there. So the kids, there were 14 kids altogether that I was working with. And this is basically, Peter, Wendy, John and Michael and the Lost Boys. And so how it works is we shoot for about 3 hours of school a day. And so we would we had a classroom set up, all very COVID friendly with plexiglass. And that was a big thing on this shoot, was COVID safety, because of course, especially towards the beginning of the shoot, the pandemic was in full force. I know we've made a lot of progress, but yeah, so we were all very carefully. I was myself and anyone working directly with the cast was tested 3 times a week. And yeah, it was fantastic. Everyone was very professional about it. Our classroom was set up with plexiglass barriers for all of the students' desks, and everyone was wearing masks. We had air purifiers. Like, it was all very professional in that sense. And we would shoot for, as I said, 3 hours a day. Sometimes we would get less. Sometimes we would get a little bit more. And then in my case, I was working with I was getting the work for my student directly from his teacher. I was working with one of the kids from the UK. So I would get emailed his work every day. We'd go through it together, and yeah, there were some days where they would not get called into set, so we would do school over Zoom. But most of the days we'd be doing that. And then when I wasn't teaching, I had the pleasure of being actually on set during the filming. So.
And that's what I'm excited to hear about when we get a chance to talk more about
absolutely.
that, because that's like dream worthy. I remember how many messages you sent me saying, I wish I could show you what I'm on right now. And I'm just like, you're a jackass. I don't know how many times I was at work and I got those messages where I was just like, you can't believe where I'm standing. This set is amazing, but I can't tell you anything. And it's
nor can I show you.
Yeah. And it's just like, I hate you. And why can't I be there?
Yeah,
I don't know why I didn't get my guest invitation. Like,
they didn't allow anyone, even like family members. I couldn't even get my own mother on there if I wanted to.
But I'm not your mother.
No, you're better than my mother.
In some fashions.
Yes.
Not in the same fashion, but just a little different.
You're like my pop culture mother.
Exactly.
You nurture me at the bosom of radness. Through my ears. Yeah. And, really.
Look how much you've learned just in these couple hours.
And honestly, I believe it's a lot more meaningful than anything I ever learned from my mother. I am so sorry if you're listening right now.
She taught you life skills. I'm teaching you street skills.
That's right. That's where it is. Yeah.
It totally is. What I teach you here is what you can use in the streets or in the sheets.
Yep.
So,
Mike in the streets and Mike in the sheets. Yeah. Because I'm not going to say mom in the sheets, because that's just not something I'm going to say.
Yep. But no, it's really cool that you got to experience that completely. I'm just trying to glaze over what's happening right now.
Well, this is really good coffee. Yeah.
You'll be out tonight. No, that's really cool. Like, it's, and especially being for such a big production too. I believe it's Disney Plus that it's going to, not theaters.
It will be going on into Disney Plus. Yeah. And working for Disney was a completely wild experience. Like, just, being the idea of being a Disney employee, and the fact that this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, first time I've ever worked on a movie, and it's not only just a movie, it's a major Disney motion picture. Yeah. Like, it blows my mind. And I honestly don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do anything like this ever again. I sincerely hope so. But, I said from the beginning, before I even started this job, if this is the only time I ever get to do this in my life, what an amazing experience. Like, what a great film to do.
I credit myself for convincing you to do it.
You and a lot of people, a lot of people seem to think that I was like super ready to just turn this down.
You were.
Okay. To be fair, I was unsure how it was going to work, because I had just started with the district. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to quit. I didn't know how the timing was going to work. I realized I was probably going to have to move out to the Vancouver area, just because the commute from where I live would have been much too insane. So there was a lot of factors to consider. And in the beginning, I didn't want to get my hopes up. I thought for sure something is going to come up that's going to prevent me from doing this. So I was at best cautiously optimistic. But after, speaking to the main studio teacher I worked for, and speaking to production and doing a little bit of research, I realized, I think I can make this work. And
it was an opportunity.
And it's a fantastic opportunity. Like, how many people get to do that in their life?
Right.
Not enough.
So who's your favorite character then? So hopefully they're listening. So choose your words wisely.
Oh no!
Because I'm pretty sure Jude listens to this podcast on a regular basis.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna not alienate any of my kids that might be listening, and not pick a Lost Boy or Darling. I'm gonna say actually, honestly, one of my favorite characters in the movie is Smee.
Fair.
Who was played by the delightful Jim Gaffigan. And yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail, but some of those lines had me it was very hard to not be laughing out loud when we're supposed to all be.
And that's why they had to do so many takes.
And that's why they had to do so many takes. Really, that's why the movie's taken so long. I mean, if you watch the entire movie start to finish, chances are you're going to hear me snickering in at least one of the shots. Yeah,
it's a good chance. I wouldn't doubt. I can see that happening. Yeah. And I've known for a fact there is a mermaid in the film, and it is Jesse, and he's naked. I've gotten that straight from the. He tried to sneak on set, and his tail came off, and he was just bare ass to the world.
Yeah.
So, and they're not editing out because they feel that it's authentic to the pirate culture. So,
I will say this: there is a slight chance of a scene with a little piece of my blue, where a little piece of my blue shirt might be showing somewhere where it's not. So I'm assuming they're gonna catch it in editing, but there is a chance.
So you could be Gene's guy.
I could be.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I could be the Starbucks cup on the table in Game of Thrones.
You know, see, that's something that's special.
That's a dream. You know,
that's like monumental.
That's something to go on your resume.
It should, yeah. You should make sure that they, at least before they cut you out, they give you that still.
It's not 100% certain that it exists. It's just from where I was standing. One of the assistant directors was like, "Oh, you might have actually been in that shot. You probably shouldn't stand there." So I was like, "Oh, okay,
nice."
Yeah, but like I said,
when there's X's on the ground, you don't stand on them unless you have lines.
You know, it's funny. There were some moments where I was on set and the actors would literally in the scene be moving around and rush up and be within like a foot of me.
Yeah,
of where I was standing, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I must be on camera, but no, it's just because of the angle, right? They're running past the camera, they're running this or they're running that. So, yeah. So
did it take anything out of movie making? Like, are you going to be able to enjoy movies after watching a movie made?
You know, it's interesting because ever since I started, every time I watch a movie now, I think about it differently. And I think, oh, I wonder if they use that there. Oh, I bet, that looks like it's...
So literally it's ruined.
No, but that's the thing. It's not ruined because I find the whole process so fascinating. And to me, it's really interesting. Like, oh, I bet they did that now. And it's almost like I have a greater understanding and in a way, a greater appreciation for movies now because I've seen all of the painstaking effort that goes into making every detail perfect,
like you're experiencing now in this episode,
like I'm experiencing in this episode now, like all to have makeup people, despite the fact that we're not on camera. Are we on camera?
Fans only,
hidden camera. But yeah, like the number of people, it's amazing the number of people on set that you never see in a shot. Yeah. Because they are there to make sure that absolutely every detail and everything goes correctly. And if something goes wrong, they're there to jump in and fix it. So, I mean, a lot of kudos and props to all the people that it takes to actually make a movie. Like when you watch those end credits and you see those hundreds and thousands of names scrolling by, you can rest assured in my opinion, they all played a very important part in making that movie happen. Everyone looks for like the director and the costumes and all this. Yeah. But, everybody plays such a vital role in making that production happen, from the Teamsters to the PAs to the assistant director to the costume, lighting, stunt riggers. I mean, everybody has a job and everyone is there giving 100% every day, and it's wonderful to see. It's really cool.
Oh, it's good.
It's pretty magical.
And then, your name will be in the credits too, right? So
that is my understanding. Yes. When I filled out my contract, there was a section for how would you want your name to appear in the credits? I mean, they have the option to veto me out for whatever reason that may be. So, maybe once this podcast gets released, I'll suddenly be X'd out once they hear all of the secrets that I've spilled.
I don't know if you spilled anything that's actually important.
No, I have not. I have not. You hear that, everybody? I have not. When the lawyers come to ask, I have not.
I think my job will be done as a podcaster if I get a thing from Disney that says we need to take that podcast down. I would I would frame that piece of.
I was going to say I would frame that too.
Like, I'd be like, hey, amazing. We've made it. We're big enough that someone actually cared, that no information that was actually shared.
Yeah.
was enough to take it down.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. It'll be cool to see it.
I am so excited. I can't wait even for just a trailer.
Yeah.
I just want to see a trailer. Show me the beginnings of this movie. We got to see a couple of
dailies.
Why am I sizzle reels?
Ooh.
So early on in my days, we got to see we were doing some stunt training with the kids, and I say I was absurd. I wasn't actually doing the training.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I know. I wanted to learn how to fight with a sword too, but they kept saying, "Mr. Gatsby, can you please put that down and walk away? Dang. Keep going.
That's
further.
You're not needed here.
You're not needed here." But anyways, we were shown sort of like an animated sequence of one of the main sequences of the film. It was just a quickly done 3D animation, but even that was it was really cool to see kind of a little bit of what the concept of what it was going to look like. And then later on, we got to see a kind of like a live action version of that had been put together from what they shot already. This was without any music or effects or anything. And it was incredible. Like just to see, the stunts being put into work and the scenes even just somewhat strung together like that. It was like, wow, because, when you're filming, you're not filming big, long sequences at a time. You're filming very small parts at a time. So to see everything put together like that was absolutely incredible. And then, there was a final one, a couple of them, about a month ago that was, had more scenes put together with some music and with some effects, not completely done, but a little bit more done. And that just blew everyone away. Like everyone was just so jazzed. It really helped, I think, after a long shoot for everyone, really reinvigorate everyone to go and finish the movie.
Yeah.
And then lastly, on one of our last days, we got a blooper reel.
Oh, okay.
And that...
Nice.
That was fantastic because, like I said, we had 14 kids on the show, and to see them just be their normal goofy selves on camera after seeing them have to be so serious and emotional, it was pretty incredible.
That's great. Awesome. Yeah, that was really awesome. No, I really appreciate you sharing that with us. I think it's a good experience to get some insight, especially see how painstaking films can be, and that it is all art for people to create, right? So,
absolutely, yeah.
So no, that's really cool. So that's why he's known as Mr. Hollywood, and I'm going to give him a hard time his entire life until one of us dies.
Yeah.
So
or until we get you on set.
Yeah, and then I'll just
and then you'll forget about that, and I'll just go back to being Jesse, right? Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
You'll be Mr. Hollywood forever in my eyes.
Will you be Mr. Hollywood too? Or Mr. Hollywood?
No, that's racist. Dude. No, if I ever got set, no, I just work my way in. I just never leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, fill in for an extra.
Yeah.
Get a line, take over the director's chair.
I mean,
simulate in there.
I've seen your videos where you've been Indiana Jones and John Wick. So I feel like
totally
you show those. There's really no need to even audition.
No, totally.
It's like,
I don't even know why I'm interviewing for anything. Really,
yeah.
It should just be given.
You should be demanding you to be a part of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I honestly could handle it. I think I would just be too overblownly excited for it because I've always wanted to be in movies. So I think I would just be totally Star Trek, and I'd forget about the children. I'd be like, whatever, I'm watching this. Go away, I'm learning.
Yeah.
That would be pretty much my experience.
That honestly, that was a little bit of a concern for me. Was I'd never really interacted for any significant amount of time with any celebrities or anything like that.
I thought you were going to say with children. I was like,
I'd never really done anything with children. Honestly, I don't know why they hired me. I didn't even have any qualifications. They found me on the street. I mean, they picked me up at a random Chuck E. Cheese and said, "Hey, you've got a white van. This looks promising."
And that's why we get the takedown order.
I apologize for that. No, I was concerned of how I would react in front of celebrities and meeting, people. And it turns out I'm completely cool as a cucumber. There may be a little bit of squealing on the inside, but it remains on the inside.
Yeah.
And which is great, because that is actually, from what I understand, a very important trait to have if you were going to work in this industry.
You're probably just so nervous you just bottled it up.
That's right.
Peed a little and just sort of
bottled it up, peed a little, and then said hello, turned around, vomited.
At the end of the day, the worry is that you don't fart, right?
That is the biggest concern.
Especially standing there. Like, can you imagine being the guy that ruins the best take of the movie because you just ripped one?
Yeah.
It's happened. Don't worry, it's happened. The guilty look on your face is hilarious right now. You're like, well, I shouldn't have had that burrito. And
we haven't even talked about the food.
Yeah, do you know they give them food? They just like freely hand them food.
Oh my God. So catered breakfast and lunch every day.
I think he needs a cigarette talking about this food. Like, well, there went the explicit.
So yeah, catered breakfast and lunch every day. And then craft services provides any and everything your wildest dreams could imagine during the day in quantities unlimited. It is a miracle that I am not 500 pounds after working there. Do you have any idea what it's like to be able to walk like 10 feet outside the classroom and be like, yeah, I'll take a ham and cheese sandwich, a pulled pork mac and cheese, a coffee with cream. Oh, and give me one of those juice spritzers. And we got the lobster tails today. Yeah, sure. Give me one of those. And you think I'm exaggerating, but those are all things that we have had available at one time or another in craft services, and so much more.
Yeah.
I will never be the same.
Yeah, you're never going to get that back where we're going.
No. Now people expect me to either make my own food or pay for it. And it's like, what is this? This is bull.
Back to the real world.
Back to the real. Oh gosh, it slaps you in the face.
Right? Just like, see, that's really what you're going to miss. It's not the rest of it. It's just
not the kids, not the job, not seeing the celebrities. It's the food.
It's the lobster tails. Just walk out and just be like, yes, lobster tails. That's all I need. That's all.
And, shout out to them for always having plant-based options, gluten-free options, like really catering to everyone's dietary needs, and with great like variety too. Like, oh, you're vegan. Oh, here, have a lettuce cup with some, grated carrot on top. Like, they really went all out to be inclusive for all dietary things. So, kudos to them.
See, my food truck should have been there.
See, your food truck they did bring in food trucks too. Yeah. Occasionally. They would bring in
the food truck I don't have,
or ice cream. Yeah. Coffee, ice cream. They brought in tacos one time. They brought in a barbecue truck one time.
See, you're just set. This is like living your best life.
Basically living my best. It is by far, like I said, the most fun I've ever had doing a job. And, the most I've ever been paid for a job too, which is very hard to reconcile.
Yeah.
It's like I've been now trained to believe that the more fun your job is, the more money you make.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's fair.
I am in for a really, really disappointing reality check.
Hey, you never know. Maybe you'll get that call again. They'd be like, Mr. Gatsby.
I hope so.
It's go time.
I really hope so.
We need you in Singapore.
We need you. Oh, my goodness. Well, the student that I worked with, like I said, is from the UK. So if they need to ship me out to the UK to do some stuff, I'm cool with that too. There's quite a few. There were the kids. There were kids from the UK. There were kids from the US, and then there were some local Canadian kids as well. So it was a very diverse group, which made it a little bit tricky sometimes because we always went by the country of origin's holiday schedule. So sometimes they would all be on holidays at different times. So, there were some weeks where I wouldn't see, 3 or 4 of them because they were on holiday. And then there were some weeks where they were all in together. So it was, yeah.
Interesting. Did they all use, I'm assuming then they all went with the country of origins curriculum as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of them were doing schooling online, which, obviously it worked out really well since COVID. A lot of schools we're doing a lot more online anyway. So it worked out well that they were able to, keep doing that. And then a lot of the times, teachers would directly funnel work to the teachers there, and then they would sort of like pass that on to their students. So it was really nice working with such a nice ratio too. There was always at least 3 of us in the classroom, and at most we would have probably 12 at a time in the classroom. So, I mean, it was a really nice ratio that you don't see in a typical school class at all.
Yeah. If any of your EA friends are listening, they're probably they're probably thinking, shaking their fist.
Nothing else upset them until I said that. There was no jealousy up until that point.
No, not at all.
Apologies to my teacher friends.
Not at all. No, that's cool. I'm glad you got that experience. That's really cool to hear, and hopefully, it'll turn out the way that you hope, and you'll get to experience that again. Cause I know it was really heartbreaking for you to walk away.
Oh, yes. That was difficult.
But that's why you will be known as Mr. Hollywood forever, because you wear those dark shades of glory as you became something that none of us became before you.
I wear the dark shades to hide my tears.
Yeah. That's what you have to do. So there was a connection, though, that the one student that you worked with, hopefully I can say this, was in a recent Marvel movie as well, right?
Yes, that is correct. You can say that because, like I said, the cast lists are posted. So, I got to work with Ever Anderson, who plays the young Black Widow in the Black Widow movie, and she was our Wendy in this production. So, it was. So that was an interesting experience, and meeting her parents and getting to rub shoulders with some well-knowns.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. So we'll dive back into that. I appreciate you sharing all that with you. I don't want to, I'll just keep prying, and then you'll get to that point where you can't share something, and then it'll be dead air. So
yeah.
Hopefully in a year's time you can come back and talk to us more about Peter and Wendy.
Absolutely.
Was it Wendy and Peter, or Peter and Wendy?
Peter Pan and Wendy.
Peter Pan and Wendy?
Yeah.
That's what they went with?
Peter Pan and Wendy.
They're sold on that name?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Then I don't know. It actually might even be Peter Pan and Wendy Darling. I don't know.
See,
I don't know. They might. It
should have been Wendy and Peter.
It should have been.
Sounds a little better.
I know, but alphabetically, it's Peter and Wendy. Peter Pan and Wendy.
I don't want to see that. No.
Yeah, but all Disney movies are alphabetical in title.
No, I don't like it.
Bambi,
no.
Mulan, The Black Cauldron.
How did you go from M to B? Or are you counting the?
No. I'm talking about just in the titles, not like in release.
I like how you also use Mulan. There's no other words in the title.
Yeah.
It's a single title.
Exactly.
No.
So it's alphabetical.
To itself? It's not.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes.
M-U-L.
All the words in Mulan are listed alphabetically. All the words in the title.
All the words.
Yes. All the words in the title of Mulan are listed alphabetically.
What secret words did you find out about Mulan? Is it an anagram?
No. What do you mean? Is it? No, I'm just saying, like the Lion King, alphabetical. We just don't count the word the. Aladdin. All the words in Aladdin, alphabetical. Wait. I know. The Lion King is
no. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like counting the alphabet in my head. I'm like, no. You got that one wrong.
I was really hoping that you wouldn't actually catch on to that, but okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so anyways, you have another fandom, a fandom that is elusive to me. It's not something in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons. That's something we haven't talked about on this show.
What?
And
do you want listeners? Like,
do I want listeners? No, okay. Well, this huge fandom that saw a giant spike after Stranger Things.
Yes.
And now, like, we own the Adventure Begins Dungeons and Dragons. We've played it a bit, but you get into the whole everything, right? So what is it about Dungeons and Dragons that gets your little heart pitter pattering and mattering, and what gets you out of bed to play Dungeons and Dragons, or do you stay in bed when you play?
Well, ironically, I actually usually play in bed. And that is only because the last campaign that I played was for the first time done completely online. And it was done through a wonderful website called Roll20, which is free to sign up for, free to have an account with. And you can play Dungeons and Dragons with maps and tokens and have like virtual dice rolls, all from the comfort of your own home. It does include a chat feature, but we found it a little bit unreliable, so we set up a chat through a separate server thing. But yeah, so it was the first time doing it completely online like that. It was. I almost recommend that if you want to start out, because for the beginner, it's great because it basically has engines that walk you through character creation and character leveling up. And you just have to like click a button for if you're attacking something, and it will roll it for you. It will add all your modifiers and everything, and you don't even have to really think.
Oh, nice.
So I highly recommend doing it through Roll20 if you're a beginner. I actually first started playing a version of Dungeons and Dragons known as Pathfinder, which, as I learned afterwards, is actually in ways infinitely more complicated than Dungeons and Dragons. So after playing Pathfinder, going back and just playing actual Dungeons and Dragons was a breeze because it was learning the hard way first. But I first started when I got introduced to a couple of my current group of friends. They were playing, and they had actually already started a campaign, but they said it was early enough in that if I was interested, I could join. So I joined, and I loved it. It's really fun for me to just create a character and throw myself into it. Role playing is a huge part of the game. There is the very technical side, which is, having your character stats and rolling your dice and playing through encounters. But the role playing is what makes it really enjoyable. The more that you role play your character, I think the better time you're going to have with it, the more you're going to enjoy it. So I will quite often play characters with accents. I've tried various different classes. I haven't really done a caster class, so I haven't really done like a sorcerer or a wizard yet, because they kind of intimidate me with all of the work involved with preparing spells and things. But I really like playing melee characters. I like getting in there with a big weapon and smashing things and taking hits and charging in. It's a lot of fun. What appeals to me about it really is, with the role playing, is I love improv. I love doing like improv stuff and coming up with things on the spot. I love interacting with characters, and I love doing voices. Dream job would be probably voice acting, doing some kind of voice acting. That would just be amazing. And so I love doing voices. I love doing accents. I've even had opportunities during campaigns where characters have had either pets or wards or little NPC characters that have joined along, and I've got to voice them for them as well, which has been really fun because I've literally played games where I've had conversations with myself. At one point, I had a conversation between 3 different characters that I was playing, and let me tell you, that is exhausting mentally and vocally.
I would not doubt.
But it was hilarious. It was great. It was so much fun. And I love the social aspect of it, getting together. I mean, online, it's maybe a little less social, but you're still, you're making decisions as a party, you're adventuring, you're doing, you're doing your thing. And yeah, it's a really enjoyable game.
Yeah. Nice. So you would recommend then going right on to the online platform for someone to start?
Yeah, I think for a beginner, it's really the easiest way to learn because it's basically plug and play. It walks you through character creation. The Roll20 also has a lot of really great information on the different races and the different classes and the different abilities so you can read through ahead of time before you go and make your character. And it's super user friendly for leveling up your character and using your character to the best of their ability. I would definitely recommend it. There is something very fun and very old school about pencil and paper and writing down and picking your stats and plugging everything in. But it can be a little bit intimidating. I found it very intimidating in the beginning.
Okay.
But now I absolutely love it.
You're all in. Nice.
I am all in.
Nice.
Highly recommend.
Nice. Okay. I remember when we talked about the idea of you coming on the show and all that and talking about some things you had mentioned in scenario,
yes.
And you said Wolverine versus Raphael.
No, actually, what I said was which Ninja Turtle would beat Wolverine in a fight. You just assumed Raphael.
I just assumed Raphael because
you just assumed. Now, I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. You assumed correctly.
Yeah,
but I want to know your reasoning why. I have my reasoning.
Just
why.
Because of his rage. Just he can go toe to toe.
He can go toe.
Yeah, because as much as I love Donatello, his bow's gone in an instant. Mikey just wouldn't cut it because he would just be flipping around too much. He'd probably be a toss-up between Leo and Raph, but fan favorite would have to just push towards Raph because of the clash with the size and the claws. That just is that epic moment of those intertwined. The swords are going to get slashed in half right at the bat, but that shot of the size pushing up into the claws, hands down, that's what's going to sell that book, right? If it was a comic.
Okay.
So I'm not saying who's going to win because it's not going to happen.
But you're saying that you fully believe that Raphael would have the most potential to win.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're correct. And my reasonings are almost exactly the same as yours. Raphael, for the main two reasons being one, I feel like his weapon is the most convenient to actually go toe to toe with those claws.
Yeah.
And would be pretty epic. And also just the fact that, he can match that rage and intensity blow for blow.
Yeah.
Really, there is no other option. So I'm glad because I was prepared to fight you.
You're ready to throw down.
Like physically, I was going to wrestle you to the ground.
Okay.
And beat the right answer out of you. But I'm glad I don't have to do that because Now we
I'm curious, where did you think I would go with that?
No, well, I knew you'd go Raphael. I just wasn't sure what your reasoning was going to be behind it. I didn't know if you were going to go because Raphael because he's cool and I like him, or if you were actually gonna,
Raph's actually probably my least favorite turtle.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Well, then I'm even more impressed that you managed to be so rational about
I
this.
Look at everything as a visual standpoint. What visually would look the best?
Yeah. See, and I did not consider the visual. I was thinking more the practicality of the weapon versus weapon because a sai is going to be the least likely thing to get destroyed instantly by those claws.
And that's why visually, you cut through the turtles one by one, and it's just the last turtle standing. So. No, whenever I look at anything, it's always a visual sake. What is visually going to be the best? And that's probably why I fail as a writer. Right? Because I can't do the in-betweens. I can't get the human emotion. That's where whenever I do any of my stories or my writing, I write on a level that is what visually look good. If I was to make this into a film, if I was to make this into something that's motion, how will this look cool?
See, that's not a bad thing though. I do that with my writing all the time.
Yeah.
I am shameless plug here, working on a novel. And the
Balls Deep, I think it's called.
Balls Deep, the Mickey Mouse story. I'm never working for Disney again. Okay.
I don't know if you're working for anyone again with that one.
No, but the scene, the very last scene in the novel because I've already planned out how it begins and how it ends. And the very last scene in the novel is actually inspired by a piece of music that I heard. And when this music was playing, while I was sort of had the beginnings of the ideas for this book, and all of a sudden just hearing this music, I saw in my head exactly how that last scene played out. And it was 100% visual. Okay. Like there were no words, there were no dialogue. It was all 100% visual. And I'm like, that's it. That's how the book ends right there. So, you know, I don't think it really matters how you tackle that writing, because whatever you do to get that out on paper, you can add the rest later. You can go back and add more dialogue here or explanation here. Yeah. If you can get those ideas out, though, eventually you're going to be able to put something together. Yeah. So I think my approach to writing is very much, tell the story, then worry about the technicalities. Yeah. I tell the story and then I go back and I do the editing. I make sure I didn't say the word them 3,000 times in a single page. There's not, things like that. There was a writer that I used to read a lot of his books. Oh, I'm trying to remember the name. He did a lot of fantasy. He did a lot of like young adult fantasy books that I read when I was younger. But what always stuck out with me with his writing was there would be an instance where there would be like a new word that he'd never used before in his book, and then all of a sudden I'd see him use that like 3 or 4 times over the next four chapters. Like he just discovered this word and he loves it. Now he's got to use it. So I try and avoid things like that. But yeah.
Okay. Fair.
So, but anyways, yes, Raphael versus Wolverine definitely would have the best shot. I also don't know who would win that. I feel, I mean, it's pretty hard to beat that regeneration.
Yeah, it's gonna, that's one of those ones where no matter what happens, it's always gonna go to a stalemate, and then they're gonna realize that they're on the same team. Yeah, and then they're being
and then they just hug it out.
Yeah. A little reach around, a little pat down.
Oh, yeah.
Go for a beer after.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I don't know. Have you ever seen Logan eating pizza?
No.
See, that's a shame.
You don't see a lot of characters eating pizza. Spider-Man eats pizza.
A lot of Spider-Man. Yes.
Right.
For sure. Maybe that's why I like him. Maybe it's just been the pizza all along.
The pizza all along.
It's been the pizza.
Right. And that's something I would bring to writing. There would be in a comic, everyone would share pizza at the end. Yeah. It'd be like the shawarma scene, but like pizza.
Yes. Yes. Because pizza brings everyone. It's like a metaphor for the round table in the Knights of old, It's exactly. It is way deeper than anyone thinks.
Right. Yeah. Totally is.
You know what, everyone? You're welcome. You're welcome for that, because, we just took your mind to a place that it has never been before. And yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. It's true.
So one of the other things that we were discussing as possible topics to discuss is one that I'm very excited about and very important. And, one that I think requires the in-depth conversation that only this podcast can offer. And that is, what is Deadpool's favorite Christmas cookie? Now, I have already given this much thought because I don't really have much going on in my life right now. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this. But if you prefer, I mean, I can go first.
Okay. No. I do my best work on the fly.
All right.
He is going to most likely enjoy a Mexican chocolate cookie with white chocolate chunks and peppermint dusted top. So you got
that is extremely specific.
The spicy cookie, the dark chocolate with the cayenne pepper inside, right? That like cocoa.
So is that like a throwback to the chimichanga?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got that white chocolate because it kind of balances off the spice. But then to add in that extra bit of Christmassy, you've got the peppermint dusted.
Interesting.
So it's just going to be a whole lot of big chocolatey mess in your mouth.
Right.
It's so much that you won't be able to talk.
Melts in your mouth and your hand.
Yeah, and it's going to be hot, and you're going to be going, damn, as that white chocolate melts in your fingers.
I'm sorry that the rest of you can't see just how like wide-eyed and excited he is as he's describing
just
this
saying,
concept. Like, it's just,
there's a lot of metaphors with that cookie.
You know, for on the fly, I feel like maybe you've given this more thought.
No,
that's
you know, I do my best work in the moment. Moment.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
I know you said you wanted to prepare for this, but I totally forgot to.
that's okay.
It's like it all comes naturally.
That's okay, you know, because this is week 2, so you had that extra week.
Oh, totally. That
totally to prepare, week. Right? That full extra week to think about it. So wow, yeah, okay.
So where would you be going with that cookie?
Okay, so now hear me out.
Okay,
I'm gonna say a classic shortbread. Okay, and for these reasons, so shortbread cookies are very crumbly. Mm-hmm. And they generally come in either squares or rectangles.
Okay.
Right? So, in other words, the classic shortbread has 4 walls. And because they're crumbly, they often break.
Nice.
You know? So, for that reason, I think he would be just cheeky enough to, you know, have a shortbread as his favorite Christmas cookie.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, who doesn't love shortbread? It goes, you dunk it in coffee, it's delicious.
Okay.
Although, that being, now I'm thinking it, now I'm overthinking this. Because maybe that's just like a little bit too intellectual for him. And maybe he would just go for like the over-the-top, party-sized, white, dark, spicy chocolate explosion in your mouth. Just because, you know.
Everyone wants a party in their mouth.
Everyone wants a party in their mouth.
Yeah. At some point or another, you need to have that flavor in your mouth that it just explodes,
like
it takes you to Flavor Town.
Yes,
and you just can't believe that just happened in your mouth.
Yeah.
There you go. That's going to be a question that needs to be posed out into the listenerverse. We want to know which one of those 2 cookies you think Deadpool would be stuffing his face with right before the big fat man comes down that chimney with his big old bag of stuff. So let us know in the comments, or shoot me a line because I want to know. Or if you've got another cookie you think Deadpool would be taking, let us know.
We'll listen. We'll take your suggestion.
We'll throw it out.
We'll throw it out ultimately. But you know, we will listen.
Yeah.
We will consider it briefly, and you know. I mean, what more can you ask?
I'll just send them all to you.
Yeah,
forward them. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I can write personalized responses. Dear dumbass, here's why you're wrong.
And you're only channeling that Deadpool persona, right?
Yes, that's what that was. Totally,
it's the Canadian.
Yeah, it's the Canadian.
It's totally the Canadian. We're soft and cuddly on the outside, but really we're tremendous assholes on the inside.
Tremendous assholes on the inside.
More Canadian truths
too. Tremendous assholes all around. Really, everywhere.
No. What else were we talking about? We
had a lot of ideas. Like I feel like we haven't even really cracked the surface. Crack the circus. Ooh, yeah. That sounds like it. Does that not sound like a really good name for an album? Crack the Circus.
Yeah. Okay,
so now we're kind of obligated to put out an album, I think.
Yeah, we could.
Okay, like do you play any instrument?
Like very like no, I don't play an instrument.
Do you sing?
Oh, I sing all the time.
Poorly?
It depends on the circles you keep, but I'm pretty sure I'm good at singing one song.
Okay.
And it could be coming back any moment. It could be bouncing here and there.
No. We almost made it, guys.
Double the episode.
Oh.
Double the gummy bears.
Oh, no.
Beyond compare. They are the gummy bears.
Okay, well, I don't play any instruments either. I don't really. Well, I sing for myself.
Slam poetry
in the show. We could do slam poetry, yes, or we could just do like really awful sounding Disney covers. Like, what if we did like a cappella Disney covers? Like we could do like the opening to The Lion King. You know.
Yeah.
The opening song, but all a cappella, just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
I guess that could be a project, not for this episode though.
not.
that needs a lot more like.
I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure everyone stopped listening as soon as I came in with the opening to The Lion King. So, yeah.
Just have to really work on that Elton John sound.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can do Elton John.
Like now?
No, I need to warm up my vocals clearly.
Okay.
Clearly, but future we'll do a future Elton John episode.
I'm still standing. That can be the title.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Rocket Man.
Where else were we going? What else? What other things we say we're talking about? I'm totally drawing a blank.
That's okay. I got you, man. We discussed a definitive ranking of all the Marvel movies, which I think would take a really long
That is
time.
like a week three if we had time.
That's like
for
a week 3.
Yeah, that's another one.
We also talked, one thing that we could make shorter. This is something that could be a short or a long conversation. But we talked about if we could pitching a movie for a hero that has not had a movie yet.
Okay.
Or pitching a reboot for a hero that's already had a movie that was maybe less than desirable.
Interesting. Let's go with one that hasn't had a movie.
Okay.
So a character that hasn't had a movie yet.
That hasn't had a movie could be DC, could be Marvel.
Okay, well, here, let's make it easy. Let's go right off the bat. Let's go with Marvel.
Okay. And I'm talking about has not had their own solo movie. So it could be a character that has been introduced to the MCU, but has not had a solo movie. But you think perhaps deserves a solo movie.
Interesting.
So I'm going to throw that out there.
Interesting. Okay,
or the DCEU as well. Could be someone.
Well, the DCEU automatically is going to be Nightwing.
I kind of figured that. I don't even know why. As soon as I said that, I'm
everyone,
thinking,
everyone should have shown that. They should have been like, that should have been the moment. They'd be like,
Nightwing,
right?
Nightwing,
Like
Nightwing.
That's where it goes. Like it literally Nightwing year one, or like the Robin year one kind of story where you find out the fallout and the reason why, that Chuck Dixon era, Scott McDaniel's Chuck Dixon era. That totally is worth the time.
Wow, you really do like to infuse a lot of dick into your podcast.
I do, yeah.
You really do.
Like you should, there's so much of it. Someone's going to go back and listen to everything and go, it was there all along.
New contest, listeners. Win Cup of Rad merchandise if you can record every single time Mike has said dick over the course of his podcast. And
or implied it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't you have an entire episode when you were reviewing that history of swearing? Or no, I guess it wasn't the entire episode, but most of an epised we talked about dick. Yeah. And then, oh gosh, you got a lot of work ahead of you people.
Because the idea that it's actually, it'd be better to call a guy a dick than to use pussy or bitch. Right. Because in reality, when you look at a dick, they're strange and weird looking and wrinkly and it's more of I think it can be more offensive actually, versus trying to defeminize things and making it, you're like, nah, you're a dick. You look like a shriveled up mushroom worm creature that
who would crumple at the slightest, pressure, really.
Yeah. So really, it's not a good thing. It's totally bad. Yeah. So
Nightwing. No, I would tend to agree with you. I think Nightwing would be a fantastic character to bring to the screen. And that is because while I am more of a Marvel fan versus DC, we all know that Batman is the Marvel character in the DC universe. And that extends to the extended Bat family, which would of course include Nightwing. So I would absolutely love to see that.
Right. For
sure. I think that would be great.
I don't think we've got a good enough version of him with Titans. Titans is too angsty and all that. I want.
Right. Well, I mean, we have the latest season of Titans, which, I know the second season ended with him kind of revealing the Nightwing costume. Yeah. I don't know if the third season's aired but hasn't come on streaming yet, or if it hasn't actually aired yet. So I'm curious to see what they actually do with Nightwing and see if maybe his character, now that he's kind of shed that Robin persona and embraced this new one, if maybe
should I break
it would be a better.
Have you seen the trailer for season 3?
No, there's this trailer.
Yeah.
Oh,
where Batman's given up his role and says, "I need you to be a better Batman," and then
really?
Then Todd dies and is the main villain. Comes back in the same season as Red Hood, and so he's got to solve that mystery of who the Red Hood is. And so he's fighting the Red Hood.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
So it's going to be interesting. I want like Nightwing is like the Spider-Man,
right?
Daredevil of the DC universe. So it's like he's like takes that persona of like that. He's quippy, but he's like it's like
he's like Batman with less angst.
Yeah, and he like shoots out all those quips. He likes to make jokes. You know, he's got a fantastic ass. You know, it's just like
whoa.
You know, it's that idea that it's like he's the Spider-Man of the DC universe, and
right. Wait, so are you saying that you think Spider-Man also has a fantastic ass?
He should.
I mean, it stands to reason.
With all those
any kind of acrobatic character, you would think would have a fantastic ass. So Daredevil, Spider-Man, Nightwing,
they all should have, because they squat a lot.
They should, right?
So
Presumably, will they work out in between
somehow?
Yeah.
The mystical, well, MCU. Oh, do you have anyone in the DCU that you would? Other than that, like
that hasn't already had a movie?
Yeah.
Honestly, yes. Actually, I think you could make a really good Martian Manhunter movie. I think that, if you've ever watched Supergirl, the character of Martian Manhunter is a big part of that show. And what I've enjoyed is some in previous seasons they've gone sort of deeper into his history and more of his life on Mars before coming to Earth, and seeing that the aspect of the war between the green Martians and the white Martians, like that. I think you could make a really interesting movie about how, that surrounded around that conflict, and then ultimately leading to, him leaving and coming to Earth. I think that would be, he's a really great character because he is, unlike Superman, who just basically blends into humanity. Yeah. He is in his original form. He does not blend into humanity. Yeah. He has to literally hide who he is at all times. And in the beginning, especially, I know there's in the comic books, there's a bit of a struggle for him to blend in with humanity and fit in. So I think that would make a really interesting movie. I think you could do some fun stuff with that. Yeah.
As long as we get that end credit scene where Batman shows up in his apartment and lights a match and says like, the alien in Metropolis, I can take him down with a rock. You, I can take with a match, and then just walks out.
Ooh,
right.
Ooh, that's angsty. So we're talking Ben Affleck.
Oh, well, but he was too happy at the end of Justice League, especially when he saw Manhunter.
So are we talking Robert Pattinson?
It's gonna I don't know. They're opening up the multiverse now, so
that's true. That's true.
They kind of like they're on there.
Maybe it'll be like Terry McGinnis that shows up.
Yeah, you never know. I just want to see that scene. I just want to see that I know who you are.
Can I actually change my answer to Batman Beyond? Can we get a Batman Beyond movie? I loved that show so much. My only concern is that they're going to screw it up because they've done so much other Batman, and some of it's great and some of it's not so great.
It would just be a matter of if they could actually respect the source material.
Yeah, that's true.
And not get too just tell a basic story. Not get too.
I feel like there's so much fan hype around that idea that there would just be so much pandering, and it might not tell a great story. Yeah, it would be my fear. Yeah. Maybe I'll go back to Martian Manhunter. But either of those, I think, would have potential.
Yeah.
Potential.
That makes sense. Okay, so Marvel. So who's someone that deserves
a movie that hasn't had one yet? Oh, that's tough because I'm almost tempted to just look at characters that have been in the MCU that haven't had their own movie because there's so many. There's so many.
Like Frog Thor.
Yeah, like Frog Thor. A
Grandmaster movie.
Grandmaster movie.
Jeff Goldblum just sitting back.
Oh my god! So Jeff Goldblum just being Jeff Goldblum for two and a half hours,
laying on a sofa, laughing,
laying on a sofa. Like subtle ab exposure. Life finds a way.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh gosh.
Honestly, I think, and this, if we're going on ones that have already been in the MCU that haven't had their own adaptation of something, they need to like do something with the Hulk.
Yes,
the Hulk needs to be a little bit more expanded.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
I feel like he is sort of getting the shaft, but it's because of that co-deal with Universal, because Marvel doesn't own him yet.
Yes,
right. So
exactly.
Universal still has their hooks into that one.
It's really hard because like there's a lot of there are a lot of other Marvel characters out there. But the thing is, like, I remember when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out. Yeah. And a lot of people did not know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. And I really only knew them peripherally, like, because I'd seen they had like little mini guest shots in a couple of comics and a couple of series that I'd watched. And I really did not know much about them. Yeah. And so it was a bit of a different experience, because I think that was the first Marvel movie that I saw where I wasn't super familiar with the characters. Yeah. And so I really didn't know what to expect. And I went in and I loved it. I mean, the characters are fantastic. I mean, Rocket, Groot, like, who doesn't love? I mean, I am Groot. I mean, come on. Yeah. Like it was great. So, I think back on all of these Marvel characters that haven't had movies, and part of me wants to say, well, I just don't know if they're big or important enough for a movie. But I think with the right director and the right script, I mean, you can make lesser known characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy into something great. Yeah, into some of the most popular characters to date now. Yeah. So. I think you're right. I think really to almost in a way round out the Marvel universe a little bit more. Yeah. We need to see some independent Hulk action. I think that would be I think he deserves it. I think
that would also help with the fact that so many people don't also like the fact that he was a bit nerfed power wise, right? Like, yes, it's that he's just kind of been in the background, and
totally.
They literally could tell another prequel story about how he ended up in the ring. You're not going to get the Planet Hulk story like everyone wanted, but like, how did he get from flying off in a ship to getting in the ring? Like, there's literally a movie that could be told there that because impede on anything, right?
Yeah, and I feel like you could almost work in some like origin story there, like with some flashback scenes, and so I mean, you don't need to do like a complete origin story, but at least tease some elements of it, and then I think it would be a really good vessel for bringing in some other previously established Marvel characters like General Ross and ones like that are a big part of the Hulk world and have appeared in the MCU but haven't had major roles as of yet. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, who knows what the future holds?
Multiverse
of Marvels, right? Which is why I'm actually interested in the new What If series, which will be coming out soon, because that's basically exploring what these multiverse possibilities, right? Taking these concepts and then actually exploring them in animated format. So I think that might be.
I think the multiverse, the What If show is going to be more important than we realize. It's being told in animation, but I think it's actually going to be more canonical. To being actually part of this branched off world that happened.
I would not be mad about that whatsoever. Right. I would quite enjoy that. And also I just recently learned that there is an episode with Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther in there. So I mean, that's going to be really cool. That'll be probably his last turn as a Black Panther. So
he's not the Black Panther though. In this What If?
Oh no,
he's Star-Lord.
What?
So what if T'Challa became Star-Lord?
You've clearly seen trailers for this too that I have not.
I read a lot. a lot of information. I just thought of something. A character that is in the MCU that should get a movie. Howard the Duck. Because I want Seth Green to play Howard the Duck more.
Yes.
Because I just thought that was awesome. And I think he should be his own movie or his own series on Disney Plus. Like,
okay, pitch me your Howard the Duck movie.
Oh, it's simple. He needs to be the off-world detective, right? Where it's like, or if anything, like you don't want it to be similar to the old movie where like he like crash on his. I think it just needs to be he comes to Earth to solve a crime and sets up shop. Yeah. Right. And it has to then be that detective, and everyone just like, why is there a duck on Earth? And it's just going to be that comical, like, you know, and then you could bring in, you know, these characters that you've seen before, you know, coming in and for like that weird help, like, you know, wouldn't it be hilarious to have a Howard the Duck show where like Thor comes in is like, yes, I need you to help me find my hammer. And he's just that thing, like he just got so rip snorting drunk that he can't find his hammer. And he goes and hires Howard to find it.
See, now I'm thinking this is a Disney Plus series.
Right. Right. So, you know, that kind of thing.
I like this. Yeah, I'm on board with this.
You know, they could go ahead and have like Groot show up and say that, you know, Rocket's lost, and they could do the whole like story where he ends up getting lost on Earth and everyone just thinks he's a raccoon and he's stuck in like the pound, right? Like those kind of things. Like they could tell some really weird things. Yeah. That almost is like humanizing Earth, but with the alien aspect. So that yeah, I want to see Howard, and I want Seth Green to have a chance to actually play Howard the Duck more than like 2 lines in the entire, you know. Okay.
Well, I know that Seth Green is a frequent listener. Yeah. He is. So Seth, you know, let's talk. Let's set up a meeting. Let's make this happen. Yeah. Right. I think, you know, if we team up and go to Marvel together, we have a much better shot. I'm sure you'll agree. You know, I mean, I already have an in with Disney, so
there you go.
Yeah.
I know you're higher than James Gunn, because if Gunn couldn't get one done, then you can.
Yeah. Well, you know the expression "one and gun."
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. That's good. That's good though. Okay. I like that.
What is someone that needs to reboot from something that has happened that shouldn't have happened? Are we still sticking with the MCU, or are we just going any
MC, DC, anything? Even if you want to go outside of that realm,
He-Man. Oh, now and He-Man. Yes, He-Man needs to be treated with respect, though. It needs to not be that weird '80s. I know a lot of people love that movie, but it was not He-Man.
It wasn't.
It was his own thing.
It was
right, and
it was
even
not the same.
Even the director said he was actually trying to make something based more around Jack Kirby's Fourth World. Like idea like that. That's where he was going with it. He wasn't going for a He-Man movie. I think if you took He-Man into the direction of like a Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars, I think you would have something really special.
That
right?
Yeah.
You know, that idea.
I think I just got goosebumps.
Right? Like that idea of having that technology mixed with, because it's a Star Wars, but with like that Lord of the Rings sensibility. Yes. Right? Or a Conan sensibility.
Yeah.
Right?
It's that blending of like the medieval with the tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it needs to just have that grand scope of things where it's just like those battles are huge. Like not like there was other people in Masters of the Universe. Like King Randor literally had an army. Like show all those people just getting mowed down by Skeletor's hordes, and like those camera tracking shots that fly through the battle where you've got skeleton warriors, but then you've got like Beastman and all that with his stuff coming charging through the people, and Man-at-Arms and his tank firing off things, and He-Man on Battle Cat, you know, Rainbow shooting out of his ass.
And he needs to hit things.
Yes.
He needs to actually hit things, not just pick up rocks and throw them or throw people around.
Like, and that's what they did to Superman for so long too, right? Like,
exactly.
That's one of the things I do like about Man of Steel is like he hits things.
That's absolutely.
So He-Man needs that reboot. He needs that mighty, just that 3-hour epic, you know, that 6-hour, 9-hour movie, 3 movies.
Wow. So you're in the full trilogy.
Plan it out where it's just literally like just from start to finish, 9 hours. You're committed to this thing. It's going to be like Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so if we're doing a trilogy, though, would you be open to bringing She-Ra into the fold? No, you're just going to keep it pure He-Man.
It's got it's
okay.
If those succeed, then you do the
you do it
one
separately.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
because you almost need to Star Wars this thing,
Right.
where it's like you do like that original trilogy, where it's like
Right.
He-Man, Adam getting his powers versus Skeletor and all that, and then you go back and you tell the prequel story of
Keldor becoming
Keldor. And then you can jump forward and then find out that there's that alternate kind of reality where She-Ra, and you bring that into the fold. So now we've got 9 movies
Okay,
all on your plate, and it's all just planned from day one.
I like it.
And you're just gonna like be.
I had
all
no
in,
idea how much I needed this in my life until just now.
right? And because imagine that first threat is gonna be Skeletor, and then he kind of ends it, and then it's like the second kind of like sequel trilogy is She-Ra coming into the fold because Hordak has like destroyed her world. Like play with that universe a bit.
Yes.
And then him coming there and like bringing He-Man to her universe and him having to battle with, but not nerfing her so she doesn't have the power, the realization that,
Right.
Maybe he just kind of like not like brings her up or anything, but like shows that, have Hordak
The
just,
power of family.
right? Yeah.
Just like
Fast and
Fast and
Furious
Furious. Yes.
just that's what needs to happen. Like
Battle Cat turns into a giant muscle car.
So now
on
we're
the
just
battlefield.
crashing into Transformers.
Yeah. Fast and the Furious, Eternity Adrift.
Fair enough.
Okay. If they keep going with the Fast and the Furious movies, eventually they're going to just make everything, right?
There's still like, and I don't know if there's any real full truth to this, but they're still trying to figure out how to blend Fast and the Furious and Jurassic Park.
Are you what? Why?
Because Universal doesn't know what to do with what limited franchises they have.
Fast and the Furious and Jurassic Park.
It's a rumored like thing that's thrown around the internet, and I don't know if there's any truth to it because there has been truth to things that you just think are ridiculous, right? Because like there was truth to the 21 Jump Street Men in Black
right
thing,
right,
and then that got canned because it was leaked. So it's like, so how much of this other one is truthful? Okay, so yeah, how much is that all going to actually be real in the grandest scheme of things? Like I know they've even like rumors for the longest time is that they've been trying to figure out how to get Transformers and Fast and the Furious together too, right? So like they were originally supposed to end with 9, but now there's going to be 10 and 11.
Oh my
right
gosh.
So they just keep going.
I don't know how long I can hold on to this franchise.
It's
it's insane.
It's bigger than the MCU in reality for characters playing the same character for how long?
Yeah. Gosh.
So,
but seriously, like if I turn on, my computer and go onto YouTube and there's a trailer for Jurassic Furious, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Like
you're going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it. Okay, let's be honest. I'm going to watch it. I'm probably going to go see it in the theater. I have a friend who is a diehard Jurassic Park fan and has made us go opening day for every single one of the new Jurassic Park movies. Usually because they, oddly enough, tend to come out right on or around his birthday.
Nice.
So I think he might even be down for that. I don't know.
Well, supposedly Dominion is the end.
Okay.
Before they reboot it.
Right.
Which I don't understand why they're doing that, but I think me and Katie talked about it in the last few episodes.
Yeah.
Like, why are they doing this? Like, it's a weird thing.
It is very strange, but it's okay. It's okay. You know what? I trust them. The dinosaurs always know.
Fair enough. Because they are logistical actors playing
real roles. Yeah, no, 100%. I wonder though, going back to the whole idea of He-Man, it's going to be interesting with Revelation coming out in well, it will already be out.
And we've already talked about it.
Well, you will have already discussed it in length by the time this airs.
I'm planning a whole episode around that.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
There's nothing else being watched that weekend.
I'm pretty sure that's like I think my first weekend off completely. After
we're watch partying this thing.
So we're like totally we're gonna I'm like binge fest. How many episodes are there?
I think 6.
Oh, that's not enough
for part 1.
That's not enough.
I don't know if they've actually released exactly how many episodes, but I think it's 6 or 8. I think for the first part. So
okay, well, that's what I'm probably doing next weekend as well, which will be prior weekends when this time loop is somebody call the TVA. I think that would be amazing. Honestly, I would love to see something, and I'm excited to see what Revelations does. And the point of me bringing up Revelations was wondering how that might affect the franchise, and if that is popular enough, is that going to open the door for the possibility of someone actually doing a live action reboot?
It keeps being canned, no matter who gets a hold of it, and no matter who does anything with it, it continuously gets canned.
Yeah.
The last bout, it was too dark. They went more of a horror route.
Okay.
Which the studio didn't like. So, they keep getting like younger directors attached to it that are like.
So do we just need to get Kevin Smith to do this?
I don't know. I don't know if he have the ability to do something that grand in a live action form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You wake up tomorrow and you are put in charge of this new He-Man project. Who is your dream cast for? Just give me He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, and Teela.
I think Skeletor should be played by the guy that played Smeagol, Andy
Serkis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he could pull off, because he's not a face actor, so I think he would be okay just being a Skullhead.
Okay.
Right? Because you'd have to do a bit of that motion capture, and then you really could have the motion capture for all of Skeletor to get that monstrous performance. And I think he would be able to pull off a good enough creepy voice that you could really get something evil out of him. Because with even his Snoke performance, right, from Star Wars, he just has that commanding, but that growl. I think he could really get something on that.
Okay. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz.
For Man-at-Arms?
For Skeletor.
If we're taking it more humorous.
Like, I think...
Because I see him especially from Inglourious Bastards, and there's Skeletor sitting there asking to be passed the milk.
Yeah.
Right? And
so you're thinking more, if it goes like more of a classic 80s vibe.
Yeah.
You know, he might be good for that.
He still could bring on the evil, but I'm afraid his voice is almost...
a little bit
too tongue in cheek. Like even his bad guy, even when he was a bad guy in Bond. Yeah. I was just like, I just could not help but laugh at him.
Okay.
Right. Like, cause that's
fair.
It's that weird, like he's adorable. Right. Yeah. When just his smile and stuff, even that evil grin, he's just like, I could see him being like, I'd almost see him being a Man-at-Arms. Yeah. That, cause he does have that command. Right. But as Skeletor, I would see him to just, you know that little wiggle that he does, right?
I know exactly. Right? Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But no, I don't know.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack.
No. So here's going to be the two movies. He's casting his. I'm casting mine. Okay. So you're going for Christoph Waltz?
I'll go for Christoph Waltz as Skeletor. I think. Okay. You know what? I don't think you give him enough credit as an actor. I think he could pull it off. You know,
if we're going for like extra, like no. He's a good actor. I'm afraid I see him too adorable. Like just that, because even he was in the Muppets and he just did that little wiggle. Yeah, right.
That's okay. You've been wrong before. This wouldn't be the first.
Fair.
It wouldn't be the first time. There's precedence. There's precedence.
Okay. Got this. Man-at-Arms. Yes. I would go probably like. I'd probably go for like Mads Mikkelsen.
Dude, that's exactly who I was thinking.
Yeah.
That is 100%.
Just because he's
who I was thinking.
Because especially if we're going for a little bit older.
Little bit older, gruff, battle worn.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's because
totally.
You know, put a mustache on that man and just put a helmet on him and he's old and worn.
Yeah, big shoulder pad. Yeah, like, yes. Wow, great minds. Great minds think alike. Okay, well, clearly there's a consensus there, so no need to debate or belittle each other.
No, not at all. Tila. Women are always so hard to cast, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not because there's anything like finding the right voice for it.
Also, women are just such bad actors, right? I mean, am I right? Like, I'm just kidding.
Each to their own opinion, apparently.
Hey! I know lots of women. Some of my best friends are women. My mom's a woman. You know, so.
Again, sorry, mother.
There was one when you'd ask me about like who would I cast for Thundercats and stuff like that.
Right.
I had a hard time with that one because I'm like trying because at the same time, like you look at it and you don't want to get it where it's like they're too. You know, you could almost be a bit cheeky with that, and you could even go with keeping that family element of people that played father and daughter before. And go with the one from Rogue One.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like go a little bit more of the military route for Tila.
Mm-hmm.
A little less of like, because like I always thought it was weird how much, and I know she's supposed to like get the power of sorceress and all that. I understand that. Like that's her plot arc, right?
Spoilers.
And so that's her arc. So
you're spoiling an 80s cartoon, Mike.
I like the idea of her being like less about the magic and being more about the military aspect.
I agree. I always like that more for her.
Right. So, but I'm trying to think like who would you cast? Like who is on your radar for that?
That is definitely the toughest one. Like that one, thinking about it, like, because I feel like I want her to have a certain level of intensity and fierceness, but at the same time, I'm trying to not think like it needs to be a younger person too, right? Like it's not like she's supposed to be, you know, roughly the same age as Prince Adam.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't want someone too, you know, old.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. Right. Because my first, what's her name? The lady who plays, my first thought initially for that fierceness was, I'm totally blanking on her name. The lady who plays Cersei Lannister.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I think she's too old.
Yeah, because she just played the mom in Gunpowder Milkshake.
Yeah, that's right. What is her name?
Why not? Lena Headey.
Is it Lena Headey?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know, it totally is. You're right.
Yeah. What about Karen Gillan? She plays a badass.
She's
older though.
Yeah, but she's a lot. I think she can pull off younger.
Right, because then she's got a bit of that redhead still. Because Tila's always been kind of a redhead.
She definitely has the look for it for sure. Right. You know, she's got the athletic. Like Tila's very athletic. I think that could work. I think so.
You know, we're just gonna start pulling from the MCU. We're from the. You know, honestly, too, if you didn't go with someone as old as whatchamacallit, I'd go with Benedict Cumberbatch as a Man-at-Arms, just because of the few times that he's played a military leader in like the old like World War films.
Right.
But I know him as an actor, he doesn't want to do as many franchise stuff anymore.
Right.
He's kind of said that where he's like, no, I don't want to do, you know, this kind of stuff anymore. I want to be able to do more one-off stuff. So He-Man, I think, is an impossible task.
I know, because this is the thing. Like, first of all, do you cast separate people for He-Man and Prince Adam? That is the first question. Or do you just have like cast Prince Adam and then just do like a CGI enhanced He-Man, or like how are you going to do that?
I honestly, I think the Cass Adam and CGI enhance. I think that's
I agree. I don't think you can have two different people.
Because it's not
playing
like
that
you're going to
role.
have like some 16-year-old kid and then like The Rock or John Cena or something like that. Like, you know, because you need a beefcake.
You do.
Like, muscle
You do.
bound, like someone that you just see muscle when you see them, right? Like,
yeah. And it's not like the Hulk where, you know, obviously you do CGI because he's big and mindless and
green.
Like He-Man is still very much human. He's just bigger.
Yeah.
A whole lot
and
bigger.
I think that's what
and
would
deeper voice and
test the bounds of the CGI. Could you get it to look real, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that would be the problem.
We've seen that it can go the other way, right? Because we've seen with Captain America, where you can make Chris Evans look like a super scrawny stick figure, and then all of a sudden, you know,
so maybe that's what you need to do. You need to find someone that's been able to be beefy, and then
do you go the opposite way? Do you find the beefcake and then shrink him down for Prince Adam? That's also, I almost feel like that would be easier,
probably,
because I think you could, even with like wardrobe, I think you could create a lot of that effect, right?
A
lot, and just camera angles, like make him shorter, appear shorter and whatnot.
But I still don't know who you go with, because there's not a lot of like big dudes that have that like command, like I think about it because honestly, me and Kid have been watching a lot of Wipeout, right?
Yeah.
And John Cena has that He-Man look.
Yes.
Right? But I don't think he could pull the acting off.
No.
Right?
But that's the other part, right?
He's got that chiseled, like he's very square.
Yes.
Right? Like you see, I saw that and I was like, he dude literally he looked like, if you were just doing stills, he looks like He-Man.
Yeah.
Right? You blonde out his hair a bit or have his hair grow. It look like you need someone of that size. Like you need like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, like just like someone
we need someone that can, maybe isn't that size right now, but can bulk up to that size. That, you know, can bulk up to that size and then be shot to resemble being unbulked.
So you need to find someone that's young now and say, in 10 years' time, you will be playing He-Man.
Perfect. What could possibly
We need
go
you
wrong?
to just get as jacked as possible.
In a healthy, responsible way.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
That's a tough one. So,
because CGI could go the way where they just look plastic and weird.
Okay,
and
so
what if you end up with babyface Hulk from the original?
Right.
Right.
Okay, let's take physicality out of the equation. Let's just go strictly off of acting. Who do you think could embody that role and pull it off? If physical stature was not an issue.
It's still a hard one because like you need to have like it's like the Shazam thing.
Right.
Right. Because in reality, He-Man's still a teenager in like a man's body.
Yes.
Right. So you need someone.
So we need someone who has experience doing that. Therefore, I am pitching Tom Hanks.
You talked about not going too old, and you're like,
I am pitching.
Here's someone that's almost 60. He's gonna play He-Man.
They can do amazing things with CGI right now. He can look like he's 16. He has experience playing a role of a boy in a man's body.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
I am pitching Tom Hanks as the next live action He-Man.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Go for it. Let's see what happens. Let's.
He's a fantastic actor.
Oh,
you know,
he's a fantastic actor. Mm-hmm. He'd be a good Man-at-Arms with the mustache.
You think so?
Look at his war movies.
I don't see his voice fitting.
That's true.
Fitting Man-at-Arms is my only thing. Like I see, like I need.
I am a man, not a toy.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see Woody leading the charge.
Yeah, that's true. But he'd have a good look with that mustache though, because he has rocked a few mustaches.
Well, I mean, everyone looks good with a mustache. Nope, there's no single person on this earth who looks bad with a mustache.
That's not true.
Come on.
No.
Name one person who looks bad with a mustache. And please don't say your wife, because then I feel like we're going to get in trouble.
I'm not even going there. That wasn't even like, I say a lot of stupid shit, but that wasn't even there.
That's gonna. She's totally gonna edit that out, isn't she?
No. She's just gonna put a big like disclaimer. The following things that are said were part of the multiverse and don't affect this reality.
There you go. Oh, you know who else could do Man-at-Arms? Ron Perlman.
Yeah. He seems like a beast man.
Mm-hmm.
more.
You think so? Oh, ooh. There's a thought.
Yeah.
There's a thought. You know, I feel like if you're going to bring in Andy Serkis, he could do a lot of those.
Yeah, would that'd be
like
cool.
he could do Merman.
He could, yeah.
Definitely do Merman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he could do the bulk of the, because they're all going to be CG.
Yeah.
So you get your money's worth when you hire him, because you just be like, hey, you're going to be Skeletor, you're going to be Merman, you could be Beastman, you could also be Stinkor. Like you literally could be all those characters. And too bad.
Triclops,
right? Not so much.
No.
That's the one you'd have to cast out.
Yeah.
That'd be one of those ones where you hire one of those wrestler guys.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because then he's got the bulk.
Yeah, you could do
right?
Batista's Triclops.
So it's getting so star-studded now that it's going to be just like this like $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Where it's just like too much bloat.
But that's okay because, you know,
it's fan.
This is never going to get made.
What?
I know.
I thought this was the official pitch.
Oh gosh.
I thought you had a direct link.
Oh, I have a dream, but it's dead.
I'm sorry, listeners. We have failed you.
I'm so sorry.
I thought this was all planned, and this was a teleconference.
We truly believed we were going to see Tom Hanks saying, "I have the power."
All I'm envisioning is Woody saying that now, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
There's a snake man in my boots.
Oh. So what do you think of Chris Evans playing Buzz Lightyear in the Pixar movie that's coming out in next year or the year after?
I don't know.
Did you know that was happening?
I didn't know there was a Buzz Lightyear movie.
Yeah. Sorry, it was.
So
just
I'm being hit with a bunch of emotions right now. I don't know.
Chris Evans is playing. So they're doing a movie called Lightyear, and it's going to be the true story behind the man behind the toy.
Oh,
so
is it going to be like is it still going to be animated or?
It's animated.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I don't know if he's going to be like what it's going to be other than just that. And
Chris Evans is playing.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
I mean, was Tim Allen just not available?
Well, they're trying to say the idea like none of the toys sound like the actual thing that it's based on, right?
Yeah, but so my question remains: was Tim Allen not available?
Because they're slightly distancing themselves from Tim Allen's political views.
Oh, that's fair.
So
it's fair, which is too bad because he would,
he's also getting pretty old though when it comes to like voicing like a,
I guess
30-something character or like that.
I suppose. I don't know. I guess I'm just a purist.
You'll always have Toy Story.
I'll always have Toy Story. I will.
You'll always have that.
I always have Toy Story.
But then, some of us also had Patrick Warburton as Buzz Lightyear, so.
Really?
Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
Right. Oh my goodness. I forgot that even existed.
Shame on you.
Wow.
Shame on you.
Wow. I'm just getting like a flood of images of that through my brain now. Holy, I forget sometimes
Disney
how
Plus
old
hasn't had it on there yet, right? I wish it was.
I forget sometimes how old the original Toy Story movie is.
Oh, it's ancient. 93.
Yeah.
1993.
It's weird to think that
way back,
even the technology existed for that kind of movie back then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can only imagine how much longer it took to make that than if they were to make it today. Unbelievable. Yeah. Probably. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I think we're getting old.
Yeah. Oh, could have told you that.
I don't like this.
I think we need to do a flashback segment every week to remind you of how old you are. This week on Flashback, this following popular movie is.
Oh no.
Oh, it's happening now. I gotta plan those.
Oh, no.
Maybe I'll even start that early, and I gotta wait for this to drop, huh? That's just gonna be a bit of.
I'm already sad and lonely and in my 30s with mommy issues.
Direct quotes. Can I use that quotes in the episode bio?
You can totally use that quote in the episode bio. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little gem of a biography was actually courtesy of one of my students on the show. And what is truly disturbing is how little time it took for him to come up with that. It was literally an instantaneous, I have a bio for you. So, yeah, it's a bit of a sore spot.
Yep, just a little bit. It stings.
Just a little bit. It hurts. It hurts deeply.
But with that, I'm gonna have to bring this to a close this week. I feel like we could probably have done a whole month if you had the time today.
I feel like we could have. You mean over the last couple of weeks that we've got?
Oh, exactly. Sorry. Yeah. All that time that we spent.
Yeah, definitely.
But I hope that you had fun coming on the show. I really appreciate you sharing your experiences and your fandoms. I hope that maybe we can figure out and have you come back when you got some more time.
Absolutely.
And we can do some more, because I don't think we even scratched the surface of any of the conversations we were meaning to have.
Pretty much. So we did very, very, very light peripheral stuff. But yeah, I mean, guys, if you want me back, hashtag bring back Mr. Hollywood.
Yeah. Clap 3 times.
Clap 3 times.
Yeah.
And just, throw a pinch of salt over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
And, I'll be there right behind you.
Yeah.
Giving you a nice little shoulder rub, whatever you need.
That's what happened to me, and he's never left.
And I've never left.
But thank you again, Mr. Hollywood, for gracing us and everyone's ear holes with your enlightened fandom views and your experience, which was really awesome. And hopefully when Peter Pan and Wendy hits Disney Plus, y'all check it out and know that somewhere on that set, this man was there.
This man.
Keeping children safe. So.
Yes, definitely did that. Definitely not. Yeah.
So stay rad, dudes. And thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.